A few weeks back, I posted a video with tips and tricks on how to remember Japanese kanji stroke order. Link is in the description if you haven't seen it. And a lot of you guys seem to like it, which I'm really happy about. But I realized that some are still starting on the basic kana, and kanji might be too much to begin studying with. So this time I decided to create this video with tips and tricks on learning hiragana with visuals just like the last time. Are your pens and paper ready? Let's get to it! Japanese is mainly composed for three characters: hiragana, katakana, and kanji. It's essential to be familiar with all of them in order to understand the language. Out of the two basic kana though, I would say hiragana is more important than katakana as it is more commonly used compared to its counterpart. For example, we mostly write in hiragana and kanji, and would actually only use katakana if we be writing a long word. We also write in hiragana if we cannot write the word kanji, and hiragana, the small characters on top or beside a kanji, yep, that's in hiragana too. So with that being said, if you are confused about where to start with your Japanese studies, I recommend learning and familiarizing yourself with hiragana first, and the rest will surely follow. Now, what's the best way to remember hiragana? Here are a few points I can share with you guys. All hiragana characters have only one syllable. For example, a is a, I is I, u is u, and so on. You can imagine these characters as puzzle pieces, and you can put them together to create words. On the other hand, Roman characters cannot be seen the same way because most of the time, you will have to use multiple characters in order to create one syllable. For example, happiness, which only has 3 syllables, but the word is composed of 9 characters already. On the other hand, sakana also has 3 syllables, but it's also only made up of 3 characters. Also, while a lot of stuff are usually written in kanji in Japanese language, everything can also actually be written in hiragana, especially if you don't know the kanji, as what I've said earlier. So it is best to learn the hiragana puzzle pieces first when starting out your studies. It will be very understandable if writing hiragana will be difficult for you, as the characters have very unique shapes and strokes that might not be seen in other languages. So I would recommend practicing reading it first until you are familiar with all of them visually. I would also say that the easiest way to memorize hiragana is to make your own flashcards and practice with it. As I mentioned earlier, hiragana characters are unique, so it might be a bit difficult for you to write them if you are not familiar with them. Take note that hiragana also begins with a, which would basically be a's counterpart in English. And unfortunately, a is one of the hardest hiragana characters to write. So, I would recommend starting with hiragana characters that only have one stroke. For example, ku, shi, tsu, te, no, hi, he. They are definitely easier to write compared to the other characters and most likely the easiest ones to remember. You can also actually start learning words by combining the easy hiragana characters. For example, kutsu means shoes, kushi means comb, tetsu means iron, tsukushi means horse tail, and so on. There are also words that are only made up of one character. For example, te means hand, and hi means fire or day. See, learning hiragana is also learning Japanese vocabulary. This is probably one of the pros in learning Japanese as compared to English. Practicing writing your name in hiragana might be one of the best ways to be familiar with the character system. If you are having a hard time figuring out how your name is spelled in hiragana, don't hesitate to leave your comment down below so I can help. Now, if you think you are all set for remembering hiragana characters, try to think of a word and then divide them into each syllable you hear. Write those syllables down with hiragana and see if you got it right. For example, try writing down sushi, which will be sushi when written in hiragana. Another tip would be listing down words starting with the same character. For example, list down all words you can find that begins with the character a. That would be ame, aka, ahiru, and so on. To wrap everything up, the takeaway for this video is start familiarizing yourself visually first, and then try writing them eventually, like you are putting puzzle pieces together. Starting your Japanese studies might feel pretty intimidating, but it might make things a bit easier if you know that there are only 50 hiragana characters, and you only have to begin with 50 characters in order to begin your studies. As I said earlier, hiragana is widely used in Japanese writing, so knowing these first 50 characters will definitely give you and your Japanese skills a head start. Good luck, and don't forget to have fun.